Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and continuing the month of Agnes Varda films for the Filmstagram Movie Club, we have One Sings, the Other Doesn't. And this is a film that focuses on the lives of two young women, Palm, who's an aspiring singer from a well-off family, and then you have Suzanne, who's a struggling mother who got herself caught up in a not the greatest situation in terms of having a future for her family. And you see the two of them as their friendship and each of their lives goes through over the course of them growing up into their adulthood. And first things first, you can definitely tell that there's some similar themes throughout Varda's films, at least the ones that I watched so far. You have that aspiring, well, in Cleo, she's an actual singer, but you have that musicality. Some of the most powerful scenes in Cleo from 5 to 7 were musical scenes. They really worked. And then you have this film. This film is a much more expanded story and narrative over time compared to Cleo from 5 to 7, which is literally like in time. This, you see these musical scenes, these performances from this group that Palm's part of over the course of the film, and they help build some of the themes of the film. They bring energy to the film because this is definitely one of her longer films. This is a 2-hour film. And they bring some vibrance to the film, where Varda, along with that, brings a very humanistic and textured look at the lives of these two women. It's beautifully shot. It's well framed, it's intimate, the colors work so well, the cinematography is really well done in more subtle ways. This isn't something that it's like, I watch it like this is a Deakins film, or you watch this and you know, that's a Wes Anderson film. This is something that's more a softer touch, but it works, and it's very welcoming and engrossing and very natural. And I think that's one of the most important things about Varda's films, are that they're natural. And this is the first one in color that I've watched. The colors feel very warm and are used in contrast in certain scenes. There's one particular scene of heavy emotion in the first act of this film that kind of sends our characters off in a new direction because of tragedy. And it's so well acted. You have very strong performances from both of these women in this film playing these two lead roles, and you feel that so powerfully in that particular scene. And then you have throughout the film, there's scenes of this music playing, you have these scenes of them connecting and enjoying life, but also struggling and trying to figure things out. And you have particular scenes where it's like Palm and her husband have some pretty serious arguments over their expectations of where they are in their lives, and this is that kind of film. This isn't a high concept idea. This is very much, you're going through the life of these two women through relationships and their friendship and their marriages and motherhood and having children, and you have all these different kinds of ideas presented in intriguing and very humanistic ways. And for me personally, as somebody who loves genre films are always my go-to. Normally, my favorite films are all genre films. I have very few straight-up dramas that are in my favorite films of all time. What takes for a film like that's a pure drama, a very humanistic kind of film to connect with me, is that it has to have compelling characters, which I felt that attraction in terms of, like, I appreciated and liked these characters very well, these two young women in this film, and I cared about following them and seeing their lives, and you make real and relatable drama throughout that you can connect with, and this film does that so well. One thing that I thought was a little odd, and I even saw this in a few reviews, is they have an epilogue at the end, where this film felt very much like, I'm feeling all of this that's going on in these two women's lives through them, through the performances of the actors and just the experiences they're going through. I didn't need things spelled out for me. And then the epilogue spells out not only what happened to them, and like a lot of films do that, but it felt like they're trying to spell out some of the themes of the film and just kind of hit you with a hammer there, and I'm like, I could have done without that ending. But it didn't really take away too much of my enjoyment of the film. I think, as a director that I had never explored before, I think Varda is definitely one of the best directors in terms of creating raw, poignant human drama. And one sings and one sings the other doesn't is another great example, and I'm glad that I got a chance to watch it. But those are my thoughts on the other. One sings, the other doesn't. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. Also, go check out the Filmstagram Movie Club through Magic of Film and join this awesome journey. We'll be having our last film of Agnes Varda next weekend, and then going into choosing who our next director is going to be. But thank you all for always tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.